Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to HR Repair. This is Hey Ray. Today we have a GMC Sierra. It is the 2015 model, and it has all kinds of codes shut down on the customer. He was able to restart it immediately, but it's got, well, check engine light and a bunch of others. So let's get into this thing and see what we can find. Contact! All right, well, we've got a tire pressure low. No biggie deal. We also see that at some point in time we lost some voltage to our dash, I would say, because our north, south, east, and west compass is not working, saying calibrate. Let's go ahead. We've got this thing hooked up. Let's do a code scan on this and just see what we've got. My guess is we're going to have codes in just about every module. I've seen this happen before. Also, the time is not correct. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are trailer brake control. What? Chassis control module version. Did it have trailer brake control? No. I think it's supposed to be up here. No. So we're going to go with active grill air shutter. Okay. I've had this issue before on these trucks where we'll have a bad ground and we'll have all kinds of things just go wonky on these things. So we're going to go ahead and do a fault scan. And like I said, my guess is we're going to find a bunch of codes in every module, or just about every module. It doesn't look like every module because we've got, yeah, not like I expected. So heated oxygen sensor, delayed response, rich to lean, bank 1, sensor 1, and bank 2, sensor 1. Delayed response, rich to lean. EVAP system, low voltage, high current, low voltage in HVAC, radiator low voltage. Okay, so here's what I would suspect. It's requesting the mill for these two codes. We might have... He claims that there was no check engine light on before this all happened. I was not really expecting this problem here because the low voltage, I don't think any of these would cause it to shut down. He said it actually shut down. Now, it might be that we have... It might be that he has something that happened with his... I'm thinking out loud, so I get sidetracked real easily trying to think out loud. Because, okay, let's go back and see what the customer said what had happened. He was driving, and suddenly lights came on in the dash. The engine lost power, and it actually shut off on him. He was able to restart it immediately. Now the check engine light's on, and he said he had a couple other lights come on after a while. So what I'm wondering is, do we have a problem with fuel trims? Wonder what our fuel trims were when this all happened, and I don't know that I have freeze frame. Let's just look, see if there's any freeze frame data here. I wonder if he's got two different problems, maybe. Does it have the 8-speed transmission? One quick way to find out. Only goes up to 6, okay? 6-speed transmission. This is good because I don't like the 8-speed DTC display. Okay, yeah, we do have freeze frame data here, I think. Here's what I'm wondering. Did our fuel trims go way high? But this saying it happened a long time ago. It's trying to pull fuel back. This is odd. This is not always accurate. Freeze frame is not always accurate. So, yeah, just like this. Ignition cycles with malfunction since the first. There's 1 count. Ignition cycles without malfunction since the last one is 12. Okay, let's go back and see if this 0. See, 2,637 miles since the first malfunction, and then since the last malfunction. Ignition cycles with a malfunction since the first is 0. Ignition cycles without a malfunction since the last is 0. And ignition cycles without a completed test since the first malfunction is 0. I'm gonna call. So there was 23% remaining fuel in the tank. See, now there's warm up since DTC cleared is 58 counts. So distance since the DTC cleared. Yeah, this doesn't make sense to me. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go air up the tire. We're going to go out on a drive and see if we can duplicate the customer's complaint. All right, well, I have had something happen off camera here. I just popped this door open a while ago and everything went blank as if it lost all power to everything. And I know it reset because I had to open and close the driver's window, but it would start and, I fired it right up. It spun right over. So one of the things I did is come up here and look at the battery. The battery has a manufacture date of 2015. This is the original battery in this truck. Surprisingly enough, I don't know if you guys probably won't be able to see it, but it's down here. There's a manufacture date on the battery of 2015. But I did do a load test on the battery and it passed the load test. So I don't think it's that. And also because of that, the other thing I did check is we've got individual wire leads coming off of here. We've got good connections on all these. I'm not saying that it couldn't be this, but leads me to think that we have possibly got an issue that GM actually put a service bulletin out for, which is a ground up here in the driver's side front here. I also usually check the passenger side since we have the thing out anyway. So we're going to quickly pop this out and I'm just going to check and see if this TSB applies to this, because we have a scan tool that's not working for some reason. I may have to restart this, but here's the codes that we had. We had B1325 in numerous modules, which is low power. So let's go ahead and pop this dash apart and check that ground. My guess is we'll find that this ground over here is faulty. So let's move this down to here. We'll have to take some things apart here. We got to pop this out. We'll pop that side out, and then this pops right up. It's real simple. So I have to bear with me here as I okay. There's that one. Let's turn this key off. And then over here on the passenger side, I believe we've got two 10 mil headed bolts. You're gonna have to bear with me because I got my head right in the way. Come in here, try to pop this out of here without damaging anything. Yeah, I think that's 10. All right, let's pop both of those out of there. Set those where we remember where they're at. This comes off. Okay, now I think this just pops right up, but let's get a plastic trim tool. We'll just slide right in underneath here, scooch on in, and come on. There we go. This side is up. We'll go over to the other side. And the same applies to that side. There we go. Now, alright, so we're gonna have to unplug this sunlight sensor up here. And this comes right out of here. Does it not? Yep. It does. Okay. Nice fancy artwork there. No. It's not what I expected to see. Let's check this one. Actually, you know what? I think they moved this one over here. Yes, they did. Okay, now that one does not have... Okay, so this one may not apply. I will bring you guys over here and show you here just pretty soon. Okay, yeah, these are okay. So if you look, hopefully you guys can see that stud down there. It's got a ground running to it. On the other side, it's in front of the speaker. Usually, if we see this kind of an issue, we have a problem with one of these grounds. Now, I'm going to go ahead and look and see what the common ground and power is for all of these modules that we've got this code for. And because I'm still convinced that it's a ground or power or ground of some kind that's causing the issue. So before we put all this back together, let's get a wiring diagram and see if we can figure something out here. Make sure we're not missing anything. All right, so those modules do not have a common ground wire. However, they have a common ground point, which is the cab. The cab is grounded via that thing right there, going down to the engine. And then the way that's grounded to the battery is through the battery cable. So we need to test that thing right there, and I can already see a bunch of crusty material on that. So we're gonna check, we're gonna clean that all up. I might go ahead and just put a new ground strap on there. And then we're going to do a load test on the battery ground and just make sure that everything works there. The best way I've found to do that is to find a good point on the battery or good point on the engine and put one lead on there from a multimeter and the other lead onto the battery negative up there, see what kind of voltage drop we get. All right, so I've checked that cable. That one's in pretty good shape. I mean, it's got green crusties, but it seems to be okay. So we're going to check our battery cable here. Battery cable / connections. We may try to fix the connection on these. Now, these battery cables have been known to fail, but first thing I would do is check the connection. So we've got positive lead over here on the battery end of it, and then on the negative we have that clamped to the engine there. Good ground on the engine. We've got our voltage set to DC volts. We'll do a wide open throttle so that it shuts off the fuel to the engine so it does not start. And this thing should be a minimum of 200 while it's cranking, but I think we've already decided that we've got a bad something there, because look at there. Let's turn the, yep. We're not even cranking yet. Yeah, we've got almost a 3/4 of a volt drop across that battery cable. So yeah, that's why we're malfunctioning at the junction, because that is bad. Why don't we get this thing up in the air? We'll pull the right front wheel off, inner fender out, and get to cleaning our grounds and see if we can fix this issue. If not, we'll have to put a new ground cable on it. Like I said, these things do fail. I've had them fail before. This battery, I'm surprised, is still working, but I mean, I could put a new one in, but I don't think that's going to take care. Actually, I know that's not going to take care of our main issue. So, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Let's get this thing up in the air and pull this right front wheel off, get in there and clean that ground. All right, so we have come down here, and I know it's kind of dark there, but let me get a light. So right down there, right there is where the ground cable goes to. I have cleaned that back again with a new battery. As I was saying, we repaired the connections there, hooked up the meter again, and I've made sure that I have very good contact there and there. We redid the test, and it's exactly the same. Nothing has changed. That tells me that we have a faulty cable. So we're going to get a new cable coming and put that on there and get this thing back to running for the customer. We're back with our parts. GM came through for me again, straight from headquarters here. This is going to have the current meter right on the. I'm not good at one-handed stuff. Come on, really? So it's going to have our amp meter, whatever we want to call that, sensor right there. This thing is going to be pretty easy to change. There's not much to it. Just unclip everything here. That goes in, where we took it off on the engine, and that goes down on the frame. Here we go. I like it. Now, we are going to put a new battery in this thing while we're at it anyway. Customer wisely decided that he wants to put in a brand new battery since the old one is 10 years old, and this one, hopefully it'll last that long as well. So probably not, but it hopefully at least won't leave him setting. So we're going to go ahead and start pulling this all apart, getting that replaced. And once I get it replaced, I'll bring you guys back, because it's very simple to do. There's not really much to it. So we'll get that replaced. We'll do our test and see where we're at on our voltage drop. The battery is now going in. No! This one uses the Group 94 battery, which is rather large and very tight to get in here, but we're gonna attempt to do so without having to remove our coolant tanks here. Come on. Came out without the coolant tank, but the stock battery and this battery might be a little different. How do you like me now? All right. So let's put that in there. We will get a 13mm with an extension here. Go down there and tighten that up. To factory specs. There we go. Let's pop that off of there, lay that up there so we forget it, and then put this there. Die Hard. Made in China. Okay. That don't make me too happy. Alright. Yeah. Definitely not going to have a battery lasting 10 years now. My opinion. My honest opinion. Tighten that down to factory specs. Get this put back on there. This comes back down across here. This will, I should have done before, but we can wiggle this around. And give it the old who for what for there. She good. We'll give that a little torque down later. Okay. I'm going to... No, we'll put these in right now. It's gonna wait to do that until... My apologies. I didn't realize that was holding you guys up. Okay, this goes in there. Goes down and around, and I usually wait to tighten this bolt down here until we get all the others in there, because I guess I don't know why this is in here. Sure, there's got to be some reason for it. Doesn't have to be, but they would have some reason. Come on. Seriously? My wobbly bits were getting in the way down there. Okay. That's a stolen phrase from Rain Man Ray. Sorry about that. Okay. Shamelessly stolen from him. I like it. I haven't come up with my own phrase yet. Leave me alone. Quit yelling at me. I forgot to plug in something there. No worries, we'll do that. We'll do that yet. I was gonna get there. Just got to make life a little more difficult for myself, so you know, seems to be the name of the game here. Come on. Come on. There we go. Plug that in so we can have fused power. Into somewhere there. Not 100% sure where that fused power goes to, but I'm sure I'd find out. Okay, so I could take this extension off, but then I'd have to put it back on again. So we'll just leave it. The extension also allows for the proper torque. You know, without this extension, you know, we wouldn't have the proper torque on everything. Okay. Now, let's get our meter back out of here, out of hibernation, and let's see what kind of voltage drop we have on that ground now. All right, doing just like we did before. Gonna put that up there where we can see. Then we're going to bring this down. Actually, let's go ahead and put this one on. That way I don't have to hold on to it. Okay, then we'll come down here. Come on. Quit. I got the dropsies on this Friday. All right, now, what do we got? Remember, before we had over 700. We already see that. All the zeros on the monitor. We open the door and 0.003. I can't get in. Let me get in. You guys are gonna have to hide out a little bit. I can already tell we're much better than we were, so I'm going to have to lower this because this bumper here is keeping my door from opening and my fat derriere can't get in there. So let me put this front wheel and inner fender on. We'll get all this put back together and then we'll test it out. So I will be right back. All right, the lift is down. Let's attempt this again. It's still tight in here. I think if you remember before, just opening up the door and turning on the key would turn it, or would get it up to almost 100 milliamps, or sometimes even over. So let's turn that off because we can't do anything anyway. All right, accelerator pedal to the floor and contact. 0.170, 0.10. No, actually it's 0.11. Okay, so we're gonna try this again. And contact. Yeah, the highest we got was 1.2. All right, folks. That should take care of our problem. Let's go ahead and start this thing, back it out from the lift so it's not so hard for me to get in and out. So, back it up. Park it. Okay, that did fix that problem. So now let's get everything buttoned back up. We'll go on a test drive. Basically all I've got to do is unhook the meter, obviously close the hood, and torque down my wheel. I got to do that yet, so I'll do that and then We'll be back on a test drive. All right. Hey, just so you know, the dash is not flashing. It's just looks like it through the camera. So let's go out and take this thing on a drive. We'll just see if everything works. I'm sure it will, because everything was related to low voltage. We found the smoking gun per se, and yeah, it seems to be running good. This guy has definitely a lot longer legs than I've got, or has a lot longer legs than I do, because my legs are stretched out, my pinky toes are straight forward, and I still can't hardly reach the pedal. Driving a little fast. Oops. Okay, as we can see, our compass has relearned itself. We've got nice bright lights. One of the things that I have noticed with these battery cables going bad, I've noticed trailer brake control module faults, I've noticed dash faults, I've noticed sometimes the radio will malfunction, your display there will blink or go blank sometimes. Just a lot of weird things that happen. I've seen where, mostly if it's the ground up there in the dash, where I'll see the turn signal not function correctly. Lights go dim when you turn the turn signal on, or you know, windshield wipers will go on when you turn the turn signal on. Just crazy things like that. It'd be in the 2000 and I believe it's 8 and newer. When you run into that issue, I would look at the ground up there, over there, and then also probably first, we should have probably first checked the battery cable, but I've just so many times seen the grounds up here. What'll happen, especially over here on the driver's side, is GM, when they put the dash pad in, will pull it too far to the right, and it will get stuck in underneath the wire, and over time that ground loses contact and causes all these issues. So GM has actually put out a TSB about that. So check those grounds, check your battery grounds. Best way is to check it the way I checked it. We've not had anything go on the blink. Everything seems to work. Our compass is working the way it's supposed to, and I think we're going to send this thing on down the road, let the customer pick it up, and he can let me know if something comes up. But that battery cable can be bad, and it looked okay. Like, there was, other than a little bit of corrosion on the outside on the clamp, it didn't look too bad at all. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of this repair, and if this helped you out at all in any which way, shape, or form. I appreciate y'all watching. I'm going to head out for a weekend vacation in Kentucky with the family, so I'll be out of town for several days here. So we will catch y'all around. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I appreciate y'all, and you have a great day. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.